Friends, we've got Dallas Fort Worth powerhouse Tommy Pistana with Compass, and we're going to dive straight into the breaking news that's shaking real estate to its core right now. Compass has acquired Anywhere Real Estate. That's huge. This isn't just another merger. It's a potential monopoly play. Compass has gone from 3 to 4% market share to dang near 20%. Non-Compass agents are worried that they're going to be squeezed out. Zillow's watching its throne be rattled. And let's be real, will the Department of Justice even let this stand? Tommy and I are going to unpack exactly what this means for agents on the ground, the way listings show up online, and the future of our industry. So buckle up. Let's go collaborate with Tommy. Tommy Pistana, are you ready to collaborate with Cole?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you carving out some time. You always seem to be in the middle of like big moves here in the DFW area, no pun intended, right? But this week, the biggest move wasn't even in your backyard. It was Compass taking over Anywhere. And I say taking over, but you know what I mean by that. Before we unpack the serious stuff, tell me this. When you first saw the headline, was your reaction more like, wow, this is like history in the making? Or were you thinking like, crap, here we go again, another giant merger to sort through? What was your take?
Yeah, no, honestly, I wasn't surprised. I kind of saw this coming. I mean, when I joined Compass 8 years ago as a founding agent here in DFW, this has been the vision of the company pretty much the whole time. Maybe not this exactly how it played out, but, the idea of where the real estate market's going, where it's going to be in 10 and 15, years. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's something, it's a shocker, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And I totally understand from people outside of the Compass world looking at it as, oh my gosh, they're hitting the red panic button. But I think in the end, this is going to be something really big for everyone in the industry.
From your perspective, what does this mean for real estate, like the real estate landscape as a whole? What do you see this impacting?
I mean, in the end, we're all independent contractors, right? And I think it's easy in this day of world with these silly phones and internet and all of that and real-time information. We get caught up in this stuff. And I've always been a believer in the end, it's about the individual agent. Yeah, there's ancillary businesses and parts of your business that can help accelerate you. But, I think there's kind of been a little bit of an overreaction if you ask me. From what I've heard,
usually is.
Yeah, from what I've heard through Compass, well, my point being is if you look at every other major industry in this world, this is what they do. And I've said this for 14 years since I first got my real estate license. The real estate industry is 25 years behind. We've always have been. It's no longer about, the open house signs and the pretty brochures and the cupcake pop buys and all of that. Does that work for people? Absolutely. But that's the great thing about our business. I always call it the best and worst thing about being a real estate agent is there's not a direct path on how to be successful.
That's true. Best and worst.
Great. It is great, but it also puts 1,000 thoughts in every real estate agent's mind because we're all looking for that direct path. So back to my point about, every other industry, right? Think about the hotel industry. Let's use Marriott. I'm a Marriott points guy, right?
Okay.
They own 30 plus hotel brands. Think about the food industry, Kraft. They own 75 brands, cookies, ice cream, pastas, you name it. Think about any other industry, Coca-Cola. Hell,
yeah,
they own a ton.
Yeah.
Comcast, let's go into the television market. Right? NBC, Universal, there's like 30 plus brands they own.
Yeah, good point.
This is nothing different. Every other industry has done it. It's just we have been so far behind. And Robert Refkin has had this vision for a long time. He's just taken action.
Yeah, love it. So how do you see this acquisition trickling down? You said, good, best and worst thing about being a real estate agent is there's so many different things that you can do, so many different ways you can get to where you're going, implementing this or this strategy or whatnot. How do you see this acquisition trickling down to the, say, day-to-day lives of agents, maybe both inside Encompass and outside of its ecosystem?
Yeah, no, great question. I mean, I think in the end, you're an individual agent. If you're going to put your head down, focus on where your business comes from, and you be unique, you're going to be successful whether you're with Compass or you're with ABC Realty. Now, the intangibles are going to change. I feel like this was a direct play at Zillow. What Zillow has done to the agent by taking our listings, hiding them from people, reselling them to other agents, leads, and creating that whole monster. This is a direct play at Zillow. And, I know people on the outside don't want to believe this, but this is about getting the agent back and being able to control their own listings and controlling their own data, because Zillow doesn't want us here. Whether you believe it or not, Zillow does not want us here. The roles have just flipped. The momentum has flipped. Zillow had all the momentum. What Compass just did by acquiring Anywhere, that is completely flipped. I would not want to be here now.
Yeah, it's interesting. That brings up something I was thinking about as I was reading through this whole merger acquisition article yesterday, and that is, so you, the real estate agent, you work your buns off to create the lead, and then the lead turns into an appointment. The appointment turns into, whatever, we'll call it a listing or a buyer consult and a buyer rep, right? So you're working your butt off for it. On the listing side, you finally get that listing, you put it into the MLS, then Zillow takes it, and they're going to sell that lead back to you. You've worked your tail off to get it. I guess it's an interesting way of looking at that, but I don't think it's too far of a stretch.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense that Zillow can get away with that, and the hundreds of MLSs around the country allow that.
Yeah. So with Compass at the helm, how do you think this will impact where and how listings are going to show up online?
Again, this isn't a popular opinion, but I've said for years, I feel like in 5, 10, 15 years, whatever that number looks like, and I've said this, like MLSs are done. They're done. They're gone. Again, it goes back to that evolving of an industry, and
right.
Every industry does this. It's just, we're not used to it. The man or woman who's been in the industry for 45 years, they don't want to see this. But every business changes. I mean, let me ask you this. Has Apple innovated the way they operate since they started, 60 years ago?
100%.
And if they didn't innovate, where would they be today?
Well, they didn't innovate, and they started dropping off. So they brought him back, and then they started innovating again, and now they're taking off.
A lot of these Anywhere brands are fantastic legacy companies. I mean,
absolutely.
Everyone knows Coldwell Banker. I worked for Coldwell Banker for 7 years. A great, 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 great company. Century 21, everyone knows them. Sotheby's. But I think their innovation, they have never taken that step. So this is a huge thing for them, talking to people within those companies. You hear the chatter on Facebook and Instagram and all the negative stuff and finger pointing, but I would say the majority of those people are excited. And let me clear up one thing too. Like, from what I understand and from what I've heard from Compass, like, nothing is changing. These brands are going to run as their own brand. They're going to use their own platforms. They're going to use their own marketing. It's just like, I hate to keep going back to the Marriott thing, but the W Hotels, which has a certain trendy type hip brand, let's call it, they're not marketing and advertising the same way a Sheridan does.
Right.
But it's all under that company. It's all under that Marriott brand. So now that becomes Compass. So the Coldwell Bankers, the Sotheby's, Sotheby's leans very luxury. Well, they're not going to market the same way that Better Homes and Gardens markets. I've just been trying to explain that to people on the outside. Like, that's all this is.
So those identities you think will continue to be protected?
Yes. From what I've heard, that is how this is going to operate. Compass a year ago purchased Christie's International. They purchased At Properties Go up to Chicago where there's an App Properties office on every corner. Like, it's still App Properties.
Well, properties.
Nothing has changed, you know. So from what I understand, that is the path with all of this.
So we'll go along with that, right? That they're going to remain independent in terms of their image and their business model or their prospect pool, or whatever, however you want to describe that best. How do you see this acquisition or merger benefiting those companies?
Well, I think it's going to roll back to kind of the issues going on with MLS and NAR and the control that they have right now. That's going to give, and I don't know this, I'm just spitballing off the top of my head. I believe these companies are going to have access to more technology, more platforms.
I would agree with that.
That they will be able to leverage. I don't know how they're going to do it, so don't hold me to that, but and it's going to open up the debate, which, let's just pull the can open, this whole private listing platform and that whole debate. I mean, we're going from 40,000 agents to 340,000 under the Compass brand now. But I think what people are mistaking is they think everyone's going to be walking around with a black Compass logo on their shirt. No, they're not. They're not. Yeah. They're not. Now, they're going to have access, from what I understand, to those off-market private exclusive listings.
Okay.
I get why people are upset about that.
Why? Why do you think people are upset about that?
They shouldn't be, but like, again, I'm like kicking a dead horse here, but it's innovation. The fact that I am disciplined. I got an email yesterday from Zillow and it was my first warning because I put one of my upcoming listings on Compass's private exclusive platform, and within 24 hours, I put it on MLS coming soon. I got an email from Zillow saying, this is your first warning. If it happens again, your listing will not be on Zillow. And what gives them? Well, I don't even care about that. What I care about is what's our goal as a real estate agent? My goal, if I'm selling your house, Cole, my goal is to sell your house for the most amount of money, make it as streamlined as possible, make it as stress-free as possible, make it as quick as possible. So what am I doing? Why am I being disciplined for trying to market a home as early as I can? Now, I get the other side. Well, we can't see it. So you could get more money if my client might see it. Yeah, possibly.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe not. We can debate that all day. I would say probably 5% of my private exclusive listings sell during private exclusive. That's not the point.
Yeah.
That's not the point. It's just more eyeballs early,
Yeah, testing
so
the market.
Now these companies will have access to that. So then it becomes a market share thing. I mean,
so for non-Compass agents who worry this might be squeezing them out, and then we'll throw Zillow in there, which is looking at this like early signs of a monopoly. That term's definitely been thrown around. How do you see both of those perspectives playing out?
Look, I get if you're with another brokerage outside of this whole acquisition, you're probably like, what the hell's going on, right? But me knowing Robert Refkin, like he's always said from the beginning, like all he cares about is the agent. That's how Compass was built. He only cares about the agent. Heck, we've allowed agents from other brokerages access to our private exclusive program. We got knocked on that because we did it in a booklet in each office, and everyone was like, oh, I thought we were this big tech company. The only reason they did it is because NAR doesn't allow it. We can't email out our listings or else we get fined.
Really?
Yes. That's the whole reason they did a booklet in each office. It wasn't because we didn't want to email them out. It was a direct violation. So
crazy.
Yeah. So I do get it, and it sounds a little strange because I am with Compass, but like the writing's been on the wall. Like, is the mom and pop shop down the street still going to be around in 20 years? Yeah, there's Plus, in the end, there's plenty of
place for that.
There's a place for it. There's a place for it. Is it going to be more difficult? Absolutely. But again, goes back to my comment in the beginning. If you're we're all individual agents. You know where your business comes from. You take care of your clients. If you do those right things, it doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what's on your uniform, right?
It doesn't matter what's and I mean, I'm now with the biggest brokerage in the world. Are there definitely benefits for me? Absolutely, but that's another conversation. But I'm not going to sit up here like a lot of these, influencers with these other companies and just totally badmouth Compass for doing this. I'm a huge fan of all these other companies. There's plenty of business for everyone.
Yeah.
I do think, I've said it for years, I do think the smaller brokerages are going to get squeezed out or acquired. Are they still going to be around, some of them? Absolutely. Because every market is different. The way you operate your business in every town is different. And that's what, as agents, we've got to remember. This isn't a war against other brokerages. Absolutely not.
If it's not a war against other brokerages, what is it? What would you say the flip side of that is? That's a good point.
I think the one word is it's innovation. It's innovation. The world is changing. It's public knowledge. Are brokerages profitable for the most part? Have they been? No. Something has to change. The problem is no one has wanted to take that step, and no one has had the resources to change the way this industry is run, and Compass has. And I get it. That's, people don't like that. They don't like it because they're comfortable in the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And comfort leads to a lot of bad things.
Comfort can kill.
I think once everyone, every day now, every 5 minutes, I'm getting a post from someone from another brokerage, bad mouthing this and speculating. But once all that waters down, I'm very confident that this is going to be a huge win for the agent, no matter where you're at.
Yeah, interesting. Department of Justice. I know I've seen a lot of stuff about that. Do you think the DOJ might step in here, just given the, potential monopoly or antitrust? I've heard that thrown around as well. Or do you see Compass navigating that cleanly?
Hey, that's above my pay grade. I mean, honestly, I could. I could see them stepping in, but one of the reasons I joined this company is, any company, I think it starts at the top, right? No matter where you're at, your leadership at the top. And I have the faith and trust in our leadership. They've been right this whole time, the last 10 years. It started with teams, right? When I sat down with Robert, when I thought they were recruiting me and I thought Compass was a bank.
All right, yeah.
Who the hell are these people trying to snag me and bring me over? No way in hell. And he goes, 15, 20 years, 10, 15 years, teams will dominate this industry. The brokerage I came from, they were anti-team because it didn't fit their business model. That was 8 years ago. I mean, Cole, you're in the industry, but outside the industry, do teams dominate this industry?
I would say 100%. It gives you leverage.
Now,
it gives you leverage, and it gives you a better service experience for your clients, in my opinion.
Exactly. So 2 points on that. It kind of aligns with the small brokerage versus big brokerage. Well, team versus individual agent. Are there always going to be individual agents?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because in certain markets, for certain niches, that works. And that's fine. So I think that's kind of the way to look at it. Are there going to be smaller brokerages? Absolutely. Are they going to have to adjust the way they operate? Absolutely. But we all have, because of this.
Right.
25 years ago, you sat at your rotary phone and waited for your client from down the street to call you. Now, if you don't pick this thing up in 3 seconds, they're calling 7 other agents. The business has sped up. With speed comes innovation, or else you're going to go the other way.
Yeah. And I remember 25 years ago, agents would wait for that weekly MLS book to show up at their office.
Yeah. I mean, heck, when I first started, we had MapScos in the break room. Like, people still use the MapScos and would photocopy directions to houses. And that wasn't too
section 120.
Yeah.
Metroplex, or is
that
that
wasn't too long ago. Then what was it? MapQuest came out. And then I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
awesome.
This is amazing.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I get it. I get the shock. Like, but I think I want people to understand that are on the outside, like, this isn't a bad thing. It's just a part of innovation in any billion-dollar industry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, mortgage has been going through that and still going through that, and it will continue to go through that.
Yeah.
100%, especially when you introduce new legislation and new laws and rules and guidelines and compliance and a smaller brokerage, there is still going to be a space for them, but a smaller brokerage, it's really hard. I mean, you hit capacity really fast if you're doing all of that on your own, if you don't have, leverage.
I mean, here's an example. If you do not think this acquisition was good for Anywhere, why did their stock go up 47% yesterday?
Did it? I didn't say that. Okay. So somebody thinks it was a good.
That tells me that something wasn't operating correctly with them. And now with this change that is coming, obviously the market went, oh my gosh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So you've given us a kind of a great breakdown of the big picture impact, right? And kind of what it means for agents and listings and even Zillow and MLS. But one of the things that I love about you is when we do talk, it's real stuff. It's transparency, and it's just it's real. I want to be real with you here, kind of across the industry. And we've touched on a few of these things, but there's quite a bit of chatter that goes way deeper than just a strategy and market share. So agents outside of Compass are wondering if this is a good deal for them, or if it's the beginning of maybe getting squeezed out. And even inside Compass, I've heard that there's some that are like pumped up, this is going to be amazing, while others may be quietly nervous, and there's those text threads going back and forth. So I want to ask you a few of the harder questions, the ones that I'm pretty confident my friends that are listening right now are probably texting in those group chats right now. Like, are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Okay. All right. Are you sure you're ready for this?
Yeah, they might not like my answers, but I mean.
Okay. So you gave me permission. So I'm just going to fire away. I've just got a few questions. Some of them have actually been texted me. Like, you're having Tommy on your show? Okay. I got to get his take on this, right? So one of them is there's been we'll call it, and these are texts that I'm getting, so don't shoot the messenger here, but one criticism of Compass has been that it's more about building the brand than the agent, which is completely opposite of what you were just sharing a while ago. With this Anywhere deal, do you think agents run the risk of becoming less of the brand themselves and more of just a cog in Compass's machine, if you will?
I totally disagree with that. I actually know who probably sent that in. I love her to death, but yeah, they are absolutely wrong. I mean, look, you're your individual brand no matter where you're at. Some other companies allow you to use your own font and your own clip art or whatever, however their logos look. But like, it's not about that. Ever since I've been at Compass, the only thing they've cared about me is me and building my brand, right? And I've used that to recruit one of the top selling teams in Texas. Everything that Compass provides for me, I treat my team, and I'm going off the little bit here, but it will make sense. I treat my team as a brokerage. Like, that's how I run it, like an individual broker. The Pistana Group is a brokerage. We leverage everything that Compass provides, our platform. They've spent over $2 billion on all of the marketing, everything, the marketing people that sit inside the office, everything that's included for being with Compass that we pay nothing for. But on my team, then I have tried to create a brand through the Pistana Group that they can also leverage. And I've said from day one, the day one of those two don't work for you, like, if you come to me and want to leave, you can leave. So I totally disagree with that. And back to, everyone is going to, again, from what I've heard and read, every Coldwell Banker, Century 21, they're all just going to operate the same exact way. Now they're going to have benefits of Compass. They'll probably get tapped into our platform, our private exclusive program, the app, all of that stuff. So I know the big thing now is cloud-based brokerages. Amazing, great concept. I can't say one bad thing about it. It works for some people. It doesn't work for some people. There's plenty of business out there for everyone. And that's why I'm so big, and I keep repeating myself, is like, doesn't matter who you're with. You are your own brand.
Right.
I am allowed to put my logo and brand myself. I would say 75% of my clients don't know that I'm with Compass. They think I am my own brokerage. If you drive by 114 right here, you see my big neon TP sign at night. Like,
yeah,
I have people ask me if I own this building. I'm like, hell no, I don't own this building. I can afford that.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
So I do disagree with that. Some of these other brokerages, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You're never going to hear me say a bad thing about another brokerage. You know, we live in a world where we're too focused on everyone else, and I think that's the biggest problem. When there's disruption and change, we point.
Yeah.
And no matter how big badass of an agent you are, they all do it.
Yeah.
Or when you're the disruptor, Compass, we get that aura of, oh, they're the bad guy. Compass is doing nothing different than any other billion-dollar company does in any other industry.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. So, I mean,
I really answered that, but I kind of did.
No, yeah, fair. I mean, you bring up a good point, and that is 63% of my business on an annual basis comes from amazing agents like you and your team, right? I would venture to guess if you asked every agent the name of Cole's mortgage company that he works for, I bet 90% would not know who the heck I work for.
I have no idea what it is, and I know you very well.
you refer your clients.
That's not a bad thing. That's a compliment.
Not at all. But it's me. It's not my company. It's me.
That's right? What I wanted to hear. My team works with you because of you, not because of your company. People work with me because they want to work with me. They work with my team members because they want to work with my team members. Yeah, there are benefits that Compass provides that I can show when I meet with clients that separate our team from other teams. Absolutely. But in the end, it's about the individual agent or the individual mortgage broker. So,
absolutely.
When this disruption happens, like, I don't know if this is advice or whatever, like, no matter who you're with, like, keep that in your mind. It's about you. Like, put your head down, figure out where your business comes from, work on, what are you good at in the business? What you don't like, don't do it. Right?
Yeah.
We get so caught up in so-and-so did this or so-and-so sold this home. Like, you know what? It doesn't matter. There's plenty of business out there for us.
It's funny that you bring that up. So that there's a good handful of loan officers that I coach, and when we're going through numbers and what's working, what's not, a good majority of them, not a majority, but several of them will say, well, it's just really tough in this market because nobody knows ABC Mortgage. I'm like, no, you could go ask my agents that I work with. They don't know the name of my company. You're totally missing the entire picture here. It's not about your company. It's about you and how you take care of your
honestly,
team.
if I'm working with a buyer and I hear the word Chase or Bank of America, I run the other way. But that's another podcast. That's another podcast.
All right. So Compass has raised billions, burned through cash, and now pulled off the biggest acquisition in real estate history. So agents are asking, is this a smart, sustainable move, or is Compass, easy for me to say, simply buying growth because it hasn't produced organically? These are questions I'm getting. This is not Cole's words.
Yeah, no. I get those all the time. Now trust me, I'm guilty. I've been on my phone on Instagram the last 2 days, like looking at, and I try to stay away from all the negative stuff because it's just not productive. One, Compass has been profitable the last year and a half every quarter. So I don't know this whole non-profitable thing is coming from. So we'll clear that. And you see on these Facebook posts, how are they buying companies when they're losing money?
Right.
We're not losing money. Can I talk about that a little bit real quick?
Absolutely.
And I think this might help agents understand the, the the vision of Compass. Like, one of the things that got me excited about Compass when I was recruited is they showed me a chart right in the beginning. They showed me, I believe it was Netflix, Uber, Facebook, their revenue and their profit. And they all raised billions of dollars. I don't know what the numbers are, right? And they did this for about 10, 15 years and then did this. And that was Compass's plan. Like, people don't want to believe it, but they raised billions of dollars because they knew for them to get to what they did 2 days ago, they had to do this. And here's the thing. All the big companies, for the most part in our industry, were publicly traded. I'm not picking on anyone else. Again, that's not me. They're all great companies, but their hands were tied, and Compass knew it. They could not go back to their investors and go, we need to lose $250 million every quarter for the next 4 years to build out a platform and to recruit agents and get the best agents in the country, because in 10, 15 years, it's going to create this. That's exactly what Facebook did, Netflix, Uber, every major company out there today. That was the entire plan by Compass. Now, they're losing money. I used to laugh 5 years ago and be like, of course they are. Yeah. They just brought in the top 100 agents in whatever, Chicago or whatever. It's like a startup. You have to lose money. The difference was they had the money to do it. And our industry their hands were tied because they're all publicly traded. They weren't profitable, and they didn't have the means to go do that. And Compass saw an opportunity. Yeah. Strictly what it was.
And you can see every company that you mentioned there, that's all public knowledge. You can see
Uber was losing hundreds of millions of dollars a month for like 5 years. Now look at Uber.
Yeah.
I mean, because they raised like $12 billion, right? Whether you like it or not, that's the world we live in now. It's so.
Absolutely. Okay. This one was text to me. So we all know Compass has its eye on Zillow. Do we all know that? I don't know. That's what some people think. But Zillow's a consumer brand. People go there first, not to a brokerage site. So is Compass biting off more than it can chew by trying to play both brokerage and consumer platform game?
I don't believe so. I definitely get where people see that, especially from the outside. I mean, whether it's real estate or not, the new currency is data, market share. That's what it is in every business now. So it's a market share play. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, Zillow turned into the word, when my kids go to a restaurant, they order a Coke when they want a Sprite. It's a Coke, right? Yeah. That's how I was raised. Like, you want a Coke, not necessarily a Coke. People go to Zillow. I applaud Zillow for that. A very well-run company.
Yeah.
So the reason behind all of this was they had all the market share. But they were taking that market share, who was our individual agents, whether they're with Compass or Sotheby's or Berkshire Hathaway or Ebby or whoever, and putting limitations on it and selling it to other agents. And that's where Compass disagreed with that. So how do you tackle the big gorilla? You go get more market share.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I mean, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but like 10 years ago, I sat with Robert Refkin and people would laugh at me. And it's so funny how it's playing out exactly how he said. He goes, in X amount of years, he goes, there's going to be no MLS. It's going to be a race between Zillow, Redfin, and Compass. Those are his exact words.
Okay.
I hope I have a job after this, but but it's funny. Is it going to pan out exactly like that? No, but can you see that kind of? So how does Compass get in that game? Market share.
Market share.
What did they just do?
Market share.
Market share. It's simple, guys. Whether you like it or not. I'm not debating the agents that don't like it. I understand that. I'm not mad at you. I mean, but whether you're in real estate you could leave real estate and go into another industry. It's happening there too. You know?
Yeah, I mean, great point. And market share. So I think with the acquisition, you guys are going to be at, is it like almost 20%?
I think so. It's like at 18 point something right now.
Goodness gracious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some market share for sure.
Which it was like three or four.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Dang.
I mean, you can't be mad. I'm sure this might be a question. You hear, oh, this is all about money, 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 and, making investors happy. What do you do when you operate $1 billion company? It's not about nonprofit. I mean, people might take that the wrong way, but the goal is to be successful and build your company and be profitable. That's exactly 100%. What's going on. And again, I understand why people don't like that. I'm not going to argue them about that, but you just got to be realistic. Like, this is what our industry, this was coming 10 years ago. I could see it. It's just happening now.
Yeah, man. Well, man, we've covered quite a bit here. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on, because I knew you'd be real.
I do this all day. I love it.
Yeah, so. I love it. But so if you could give maybe one piece of Tommy advice to real estate agents across the country who are watching this whole merger acquisition thing unfold and wondering, what does this mean for me? Yeah. How should I respond as an agent? What would you tell them?
I would say, keep your head down, focus on you, focus on building your own business, because in the end, it's not going to matter. We're going to hear chatter, but if you are committed to building your business and you do a great job and you take care of your clients, this merger isn't going to affect Compass agents with their clients and dilute them down, or vice versa. If you are a good agent and you are focused on what you are good at, and quit looking at all this chatter and pointing fingers. Like, I preach that every day when I coach, when I talk to my team, and it's helped a ton of my agents. We live in this world of this, right? We want instant gratification. Hey, I just did this. Oh, I'm just as guilty as everyone. But my core knows, look, just focus on yourself. Do the right thing. Be a good person. Quit pointing fingers. Quit worrying about what people think about you, and you're going to be okay. Let the industry change, and you'll evolve with it. Because if you're a badass at your business, it doesn't matter where you're at. Could it affect it in small ways? It might for a little bit, but in the end, you're going to succeed.
Yeah, well said. Like we've already covered before, or like you said earlier, you mentioned it's about you, the agent. It's not, the typical, the layperson, the prospective buyer or prospective seller, they're not looking at these headlines thinking, oh my God, my real estate friends, he or she's not with Compass. How are they going to be impacted? They're not thinking about that.
This is a good tidbit, and I'm going off tangent here a little bit, but I think it'll be beneficial to the people watching. You know the last thing I talk about in a listing appointment?
No,
Compass.
What's that?
Compass. I sell myself. I build a relationship with that client first. Yeah, I could sit there all day and tell them why I'm with Compass and the benefits, and a lot of times I do, but that's a mindset thing. So that's another kind of bit of advice. Agents, quit going in there with a PowerPoint presentation, right? Sit down and talk to your clients. Let them learn about you and be comfortable with you, because they're working with you. They're not working with your company.
Yeah, great point. Great point. All right, I've got to throw one last curveball in there, if you're okay with it. All right. So I know you and your family. What?
You want to buy my boat?
No, I just want to surf on it. I don't want to. I don't want the expense. I just want to enjoy it.
You know anyone that wants one? Let me know.
All right. So I know you and your family have this tradition of hitting the Cowboys game every Thanksgiving. I think that's awesome. But be honest with me, after 20 plus years of heartbreak, is this loyalty? Is it hope? Or is it just like good old fashioned family tradition that keeps you in those seats every year?
Well, you're going to love this answer. You better,
okay.
You sure you got enough tape in the, you think?
We've iterated. It's not tape anymore. We've iterated.
So yes, so everyone that's listening, this will be our 9th year of going to the Thanksgiving game. We're big Cowboy fans. Now, let me let me justify why I'm a Cowboys fan. When I moved here in 1990 from Florida, we lived for about 2 years directly across the street from the Cowboys training facility. Remember 1990? Who just watched the Netflix series? They went 1-15, whatever. That was back before these dumb things, cameras, press, all that stuff. So me and my buddies after school would go run out on the field and catch passes from Troy Aikman and run the ball with Michael Irvin. And then in the parking lot, they'd give us high fives and give us Pepsis and Cokes. And so
I did not know that.
The next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, they just went on that run. So I just became infatuated with the Cowboys. But I feel like I have an excuse. Like, because I was there I was a kid, high-fiving. I have every one of their autographs, all of that. That being said, Jerry Jones is horrible. Anyways, that's another podcast. I don't have any hope for them because this is a great intertwine here. It starts at the top. Who's at the top with the Cowboys? Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Yep.
Until there's a change there, until that culture is fixed, I've got a big sign right here. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's all about culture, no matter where you're at, what brokerage. Compass has done a really good job with culture, but Jerry Jones has not done a really good job. Until that culture is fixed, they will never win again. It doesn't matter how many all-stars they have. Am I going to quit cheering for him? Oh, God, I wish I could.
Yeah, but probably not.
But I just can't. I can't. So if you have any advice out there,
I don't. My very first bicycle that we took the training wheels off of was a Roger Staubach bicycle. So I just, had his number 12, proudly displayed on the front. It's in my blood. I can't stand the dude at the top, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's miserable.
It's in my blood. Well, man, Tommy, this has been powerful. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you just being willing to, come on and be real and be honest. So those are the two things that I knew I could expect from you, and you didn't let me down. So I really appreciate that. For our friends listening, I really hope that you take what Tommy shared today and use it not just to react to the news, but maybe to strategically position yourself for what's next. So, Tommy, I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Cole. Thank you, sir. We'll do it again.
Friends, if this episode gave you something to think about, please share it with another agent who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to Collaborate with Cole, because this is where real conversations about our industry happen first.